Today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience fighting the Underpin. It's such an intense challenge, but you will be rewarded and you will be very happy whenever it happens. It will test your patience, but the more attempts you have, you will notice that you're making progress. There's no way you're not going to make progress and you will eventually nail it. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience. I'm going to be giving you some tips. And of course, I'm going to be showing you the entire fight. You'll also be able to see timestamps if there's like something specific, like a highlight or something that you want to see, such as near-death experiences. But anyway, so as you may know, the Underpin is a boss in a delve. It's a one-boss delve in the Undermine, in the Demolition Dome delve. There's only 2 tiers to this one, and when you defeat him on the 2nd tier, you will get the Delver's Gob-Trotter schematic gold, which looks sick. Now first of all, you have to unlock the first difficulty, and to do this you have to finish a tier 7 delve, any delve, with lives remaining. And to unlock the 2nd difficulty, which is the most important one, you have to finish a tier 10 delve with lives remaining. When it comes to mechanics, the Underpin has like this jumping ability where he targets a player. Okay, first of all, this has to be done solo. You have to do it solo to be able to actually loot the schematic. So he will either target you or Bran. This is going to be very important in the fight. I'll talk about this soon. Next, he has a frontal cone, which is deadly, basically. It might not kill you, but it is also followed by a heavy dot, which will most probably kill you unless you're a paladin. Hello. And then he has the ability to throw bombs, which after 10 seconds they will explode in a large radius. These bombs are kickable. You can kick them away from you, and this will also be useful in the fight, which brings us now to the ads. The boss will spawn 5 ads every now and then, and basically the way to kill them is to throw the bombs at them. These ads will throw fire orbs in really long lines, and it could get really chaotic if you don't kill them quick enough. And then the boss has an energy bar. Whenever it reaches 100, he will shield himself. You have to DPS it down. If you don't break the shield, he's gonna heal for 25% of his HP. So this is a big chunk of health that he's gonna gain, and yeah, it's just, you don't want that to happen. Now the first time he shields, it happens at 80%, so you have a few minutes where you guarantee he's not gonna shield up. You can use your burst when you first start the fight, and then depending on your cooldowns, how long they are, I don't know, it's up to you. Just keep an eye on his HP, and remember, whenever he reaches 80%, this is the first time he's gonna shield up, and then afterwards, whenever he reaches 100 energy, he will always just keep shielding up. And yeah, of course, the higher eye level, the better, because you want to break his shield down and you want to have, you know, the most survivability. You don't want the fight to last half an hour, right? Nobody wants that. But if it does and it works eventually, I mean, congratulations. Now, unlike Zekvir, if you're familiar with the first season's one boss delve thing, Zekvir, Zekvir had a 2nd phase where he gains more abilities and it just gets even more chaotic. But with the Underpin, this is not the case. It's just one phase the whole time, over and over. All the abilities that I spoke about, it's just the same, rinse and repeat. So this is probably one good thing about this fight. Now, when it comes to classes, I did it on, of course, my Paladin, but I kept switching between Retribution and Protection. The reason for this is, if you're playing this on a DPS spec, you're gonna have to throw 3 bombs on the ads to kill them. But, for some reason, tanks only need to throw 2 bombs, and this was a lifesaver for me. On Retribution, it was taking me too long sometimes to kill the ads because I wasn't really throwing the bombs correctly, and so doing it with tank spec just saved me so much time. I just killed them really quickly, and I was, you know, the fight was so much cleaner in general. Now, sometimes for some reason you throw 2 bombs as tank and it just brings them to really low HP, like 5% or something. It doesn't kill them, but this doesn't always happen. Usually they die within just 2 bombs thrown. Now about healers, I have no clue. You can try, but I would guess it's the same as tanks. as a tank, I was taking much less damage than what I was as Retribution. And so it felt amazing until I had to break his shield down and I noticed that my damage was not enough. I was struggling with this. So this is probably the only disadvantage for you to play as a tank. Now, if you want to do it, go through all of your talents and pick every single talent that boosts your damage. This is what I did. I'm not sure if I missed maybe one or two, but I tried as much as I can to boost my damage with my talents, and I took a flask, I used potions, I used drums at some point. Just try to do whatever it takes to boost your damage, and you will actually do it. My paladin was eye level 660. Bran, as a tank, of course Bran has to be a damage dealer, because he will help you a lot with his damage. And concerning the curios, you have a lot of options. For me, I picked these two, and I felt like they were very helpful. There's definitely other ones that you can use as well, so I guess you should experiment with them and see which one fits you better. Again, it took me so many attempts. It took me like 40 plus attempts. I didn't count them. And I kept switching between Retribution and Protection, because whenever I switched back to Retribution, I was like, oh, yes, I'm doing much more damage. This is much faster. But then I noticed that I was taking a lot more damage. I was dying much more frequently. I was really not being able to take care of the ads as much as I was with Protection, and so I just went back, switched to Protection, and then went back in. And as Protection, I was like, oh wow, I'm like keeping all these ads under control. The fight is just very clean and smooth. And then whenever the shield comes, I'm like, So what I did, I have my trinket, I have my abilities, all of my damage dealing abilities. The first mistake I made was use everything. Super extra burst, and the shield goes down, and then by the time he shields up again, I basically have nothing to use. So after that point, I decided to just split my burst into two, and this is how it worked. But I would still sometimes not be able to break the shield, not just because of my DPS, but also because of the mechanics. Like as you will see, sometimes I just get knocked back. There's like the swirlies on the ground, which I forgot to mention in the abilities. He also does the swirly stuff, so you should avoid. And of course, the slippery black oily patches on the ground. Try to stay away from them, because it actually lets your character slip, and it makes it hard to take control again. This has actually caused me many wipes before this, and as you will see throughout this fight, it actually almost killed me at some point, or maybe another point as well. And the most annoying part is that if there are bombs on these patches, and you have to kick the bombs, and then, it's just so hard to kick them when they are on the oil, I guess. One thing that is really important is placement. You have to make sure that the ads are spawning correctly, because whenever you kill some ads, you will notice that their corpses will stay there for a while. They will disappear later on, but as long as their corpses are there, whenever the boss wants to spawn new ads, if you're still right next to the ones that you just killed, there's not going to be enough space for him to place them. And so usually what happens is that the boss will spawn them scattered around the arena, and this is something that you definitely do not want to happen. And so the best thing to do is that whenever you kill ads, move away from them. As you can see throughout this whole fight, this is what I was doing. I kept rotating throughout the arena so that I avoid having ads being placed far away from each other. You want them to be as close as possible to each other so that you kill them as fast as possible. Now, the best way to control how the boss is gonna spawn them is through his jumping ability, which I mentioned earlier. You can take advantage of this in a way where you can move as far away as you want, and you can almost guarantee that he will target you with his jumping ability, and he will just come to you. And so this is one way you can guarantee he will spawn them in just one row, right next to each other, so that you target them all with the same bombs. Now again, there's of course the possibility that he will target Bran, and if Bran is next to him, he's just gonna stay wherever he initially was. But usually he casts the jumping ability much more frequently than he does the adds. And so there is a big chance that if he casted that ability on Bran, he will cast it again on you before he spawns the next adds. There's a lot of RNG in this fight, and this is the bad part about it. Like, you might fail, not because of your gameplay, not because of your, trying to dodge the abilities and all of that, but simply because of the way that the boss is just casting his abilities. And I've had a couple times, I'm not gonna lie, I've had a couple times where I was literally away from all of the dead adds, and the boss simply just, for some reason, spawned one ad across the arena. And I looked at it and I was like, why? It doesn't make sense. So I'm not sure what that was about. You might encounter this, but again, it's not a big problem. I remember I had an attempt where there was this one ad that was by himself, and I just decided to just leave him. It wasn't that hard to dodge his ability. And so I was just going around the arena, he was casting his fire orb, and I just simply dodged it all the time, because the orbs actually travel across the entire arena. So you should be careful with this. And so what happened after several adds that spawned and I killed them, I eventually arrived to where that one surviving ad was, and I killed him with the new adds that spawned around him. Now of course, if you want to stand far away from the boss, waiting for him to jump over, there's a big chance he's gonna cast his frontal cone on you. The good part about this is that the frontal cone will not hit you if you're not in range. It has a certain range, unlike the fire orbs that the adds cast. It has a specific range, and you can actually tell where it ends because you can see kind of like the flames or like the effects of it before it gets cast. So if you stand very, very far away from the boss, you're not gonna get hit with this cone. So really, if you want the TLDR of all of this, dodge the mechanics, throw the bombs on the adds. Whenever you kill the adds, move away from them. Wait for the boss to jump over to you. And it's not really that important because usually he will just walk over. It's not a problem. And of course, break his shield. This is like the most important thing in this whole fight because you don't want it to last forever. Break his shield as soon as you can. Even if there's 10 adds around you, you have to break this shield down. It's such a messy fight, but as I said, all it takes is you doing it. That's all. I've heard of some people completing this in just a few attempts, like a couple attempts, and I was like, okay. And then the next thing I realized, I was just way over 40 attempts. But yeah, this is such a nice experience whenever it ends. You will look back at it and you will be like, I did that. Take this from me. Go do it. And the reason I'm giving you this advice is because this will drastically help you with raiding, with PvE in general, like mythics, and with PvP, for sure. If you're struggling in like, any group type of activity, this will definitely be a very, very good training for you because there's so much happening. And as I said, the more and more you do it, the more you will just get used to everything that's happening. And yeah, it'll just work eventually. So now I'm just gonna leave you to the rest of the fight. And again, if there's anything specific you want to see, like a certain highlight or something, you can see them in the timestamps. So congratulations from now, because I truly believe you will get it. So yeah, see you later.
I'll make it rain.
Shockwave.
Shockwave. Flatten you for what you've done. Attack speed. My mech is private property.
Gruntle. Bomb incoming. Shockwave. Gruntle.
I ain't paying for you to stand around.
Gruntle. Shockwave.
Oh, with an iron fist. Forecast cloudy with a chance of moment, champion.